to all of science chemistry classes again. Today we will learn the second part of solid state, and now in the previous video I have discussed about the relation between the edge length and the radius of the particle, and now today we shall deduce the relation between the edge length and the radius of the particle. So for this we are drawing a cubic unit cell like this, and for this cubic unit cell we know that three types of primitive cubic unit cell in reality exist, and those are SCC or simple cubic unit cell, BCC or body centered cubic unit cell, and FCC or face centered cubic unit cell. Now for SCC, for simple cubic unit cell, there are particles at the corners of the cube. So you see that I am naming these edges A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H. Now see, actually the corners where the particles are situated, these particles are considered or assumed to be solid incompressible sphere or rigid incompressible spheres. Now these spheres touches each other. We, for our own convenience, write these particles as points or lattice points. Now I am taking out this section out of the cube and writing like this. This point is A and this point is say B, and these are the centers of the particles. And edge length, I am considering the edge length A. All the edges are of length A, and therefore you see that these two spheres touches each other, and therefore the edge length is equals to the radius of one particle and radius of another particle, you see. Now therefore this edge length A equals to 2R, or R equals to A by 2, and this is the relation between edge length of the simple cubic unit cell and radius of the particle present in the simple cubic unit cell. Okay. Now we are going to deduce the relation between edge length of body centered cubic unit cell and particle, radius of the particle and the edge length of the body centered cubic unit cell. So you see, in the body centered cubic unit cell there are particles at each corners of the cube. There are 8 corners and one at the body center. So we will have to find out this distance. I am naming again A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H. Now you see, all the edge lengths are A. I am drawing this diagonal AD and again taking this diagonal, you see, AG. Now you see, we have to find out the length of AD first. Now AD square, from Pythagoras theorem, AD square equals to AC square plus CD square. It comes out to be A square plus A square equals to 2A square, or AD equals to root 2A. Okay. Now AD equals to root 2A. Now this is, because this is a right angle triangle, this is 90 degree. Okay, 90 degree, and this one is also a triangle, right angle triangle, ADC, triangle ADG. Now I have to find out the length of AG. Okay. Now you see, again from Pythagoras theorem, I have AG square equals to AD square plus dg square equals to root 2a whole square plus a square again equals to 2a square plus a square, that is 3a square. Okay, therefore ag equals to root 3a. Okay, now ag equals to root 3a. Now you see, I am taking out this section of ag. This is a and this is g. Now these are the centers of the H particles, and in the middle there is another particle. So they are in touch with each other, they touches each other, and therefore it will be like this. And this radius is, you see, r, and this is the whole diameter of the particle, 2r, and this is again r. Therefore we can write that root 3a equals to 4r, or r equals to root 3a by 4. Now this is the relation between radius of the particle and edge length of the BCC unit cell or body centered cubic unit cell. Okay. Now I am going to find out the relation between radius of the face centered cubic unit cell and the radius of the particle. So for this I am writing this out. For this one I am again taking a cube of edge length a, and again naming the cube A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H. Now see, these are there are particles at the corners of the cube. 8 corners are there, and there are particles at the center of each faces. There are 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, backward corner, front corner and downward corner. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6. There are 6 faces and 6 particles at center of each faces. Now we have to find out the length of this one. I have already found out this AC. Now you see, this AC is a part of the hypotenuse of a right angle triangle. This is 90-degree angle. So AC square equals to AD square plus BC square. This is from Pythagoras theorem. Equals to A square plus A square, which turns out to be 2A square. Therefore AC equals to root 2A. So you see again, I am taking out the section from the cube AC. This is A and this is C, AC, and there is a particle at the face, at the center of this line. So this sphere and this whole sphere and this sphere touches each other, they touches each other. So this length is r, radius, and this is the whole diameter of the particle, 2r, and this is r again. So we find that AC, which is equals to root 2a, equals to 4r, or 4r equals to root 2a, which gives r equals to root 2a by 4. Now see, which turns out to be root 2a by root 2 into root 2 into 2, that is a by 2 root 2. That is a by 2 root 2. A by 2 root 2. Therefore, we found that for face-centered cubic unit cell, face-centered cubic unit cell R equals to A by 2 root 2. Okay. Now this is the relation between the edge length and the radius of the particle for face-centered cubic unit cell. So if we summarize all the relations, we find that for SCC, simple cubic unit cell, R equals to A by 2. For body-centered cubic unit cell, R equals to root 3 A by 4. And for face-centered cubic unit cell, R equals to A by 2 root 2. Now this is the actual relation we have to use in the problems. And you see, once we know how to find out the magnitude or find out the length of AC and the another diagonal, say CE or AG, we will automatically can find out the relation between edge length and the radius of the particle very easily. So you need not to worry about remind it always, but you could find out automatically if the entire concept of this geometry is known to you. So in the next topic we shall learn about the voids or holes in the crystal lattice or unit cell. Now, as I have told you that we are going to find out the voids. So, why voids exist inside a lattice or an unit cell? We have to find out that first. Now you see, as we have assumed that all the particles in a lattice or unit cell are rigid spheres, so as they are incompressible, there should certainly be some vacant space inside the lattice or unit cell, and those interstitial spaces or vacant spaces are called voids. Now voids are of two types. Those are tetrahedral voids. I am denoting tetrahedral voids by TD voids, and octahedral voids. Octahedral voids. So you see, these two types of voids are there. Now what are tetrahedral voids? In case of tetrahedral voids, you see that I am drawing a triangle and three spheres are in touch with each other. You see, three spheres are in touch with each other. This one, you see the center is there. And now, if I draw another sphere over this, if I put another sphere over this, in between these four spheres, there are a vacant space which is called tetrahedral voids. If we invert this figure, we could find that there are four particles at the vertices of a regular tetrahedron. And you see the vacant space in between this is called tetrahedral void. Okay? Now we shall discuss about octahedral voids. Octahedral voids are like this. You see, three spheres are touching each other, whose centers are at the vertices of a triangle, and another inverted triangle. We should draw another inverted triangle over this, so that you see this another inverted triangle. However, the voids inside this space is called octahedral voids. You see, if we invert this figure, we could find that octahedral voids are like this. 2 points. This is an octahedron. You see, if we draw imaginary lines, we will find the octahedron. So this void at the middle is called octahedral voids. These are surrounded by 6 particles situated at the vertices of the octahedron. Now, after this, we should find out the number of octahedral and tetrahedral voids, and for this, it is very convenient for us to take an FCC unit cell or FCC lattice, because while finding out the number of tetrahedral and octahedral voids in FCC lattice, we can extrapolate this for other types of unit cells or lattices. So, I am drawing an FCC lattice here, or FCC unit cell here. You see, this is an FCC unit cell. Face-centered cubic unit cell. The corners are occupied by particles. 8 corners are there. And as I have told that there are 4 body diagonals. So, and 12 edges. You see, I am drawing the edge centers here. Edge centers. These are edge centers. Now you have to keep it in mind that octahedral voids is associated with the center of the body and each face center, sorry, edge center, and each edge center. Okay, you have to keep in mind that octahedral voids are associated with the center of the body and each edge center. Okay, you could take a screenshot of this line. Octahedral voids are associated with the center of the body and each edge center. So, I am drawing it out. You see, at the center of the body, if this is the void, then this is face centered. So, there are points at the center of each faces. This is backward face, and this is the front face. This is down face. This is left hand side face. There are 6 particles, and you see that there are, I am writing it front face, this one. It will be convenient to see. You see that if I join this, you will find an octahedral void inside the body of the inside the body of the cube. And now I have already told you that each edge is also associated with an octahedral void. If you see that this is a face, front another, backward another, and see there are another cube at this side. Okay, another cube, another unit cell. Now at this face there is another particle, and downward at this face there is another particle, and upward there are other cubes, another cube. So at the face of another cube, at any of the face of another cube, there are fifth center of another group, there are another particle. So you see, there is another octahedral hole. So inside the body there are one octahedral hole, and each edge is associated with one octahedral holes. Therefore, since there are 12 edges, the total number of octahedral holes or voids equals to 1 inside the body for the body itself, plus there are 12 edges. There are 12 edges, and each edge contains a void, and this void is shared by 4 other unit cells. So 12 into 1/4. Each unit cell have a share of 1/4 of the void. So since there are 12 edges, so the contribution is 12 into 1/4. So the total number of octahedral voids equals to 1 plus 3 equals to 4. This is the total number of octahedral voids. And now I am going to decide the position of the tetrahedral voids. You see, I am drawing out again another cube, another fifth centered unit cell here. Sorry. There are particles at the corners. 8 particles at 8 corners. And particles at the face center. 6 faces. 1, 2, backward corner, front corner, right hand side face, and downward face. There are 6 particles. So now you see, I am drawing this body diagonal, and you see that tetrahedral voids is situated. You have to keep it in mind. Tetrahedral void is situated at the midpoint of the body center and corner. So the tetrahedral void is situated at the midpoint of the body center and corner of the cube. You could take a screenshot of this one also. Now see, the midpoint is here. So the tetrahedral void is situated at this position. Now taking reference as this point, we will try to follow the common point. Which are the common point? You see, one is this, another one is this, another one is this one, and another one is this one. So this is a tetrahedral void. Now each body center will possess 2 tetrahedral voids each. Each body diagonal possesses 2 tetrahedral voids. And now we know that there are 4 body diagonals. So each body diagonal, I am running this one out. Each body diagonal is associated with 2 tetrahedral voids. Therefore, we have 4 body diagonals in a cube. Therefore, 4 body diagonals will have a total number of tetrahedral voids equals to 4 into 2 equals to 8. So we have found that in FCC lattice or FCC cubic unit cell, there are 4 octahedral voids and twice, that is 8, twice the number of tetrahedral voids, that is 8 tetrahedral voids. Similarly, we could exploit it for any kind of unit cell, and we'll find if the number of octahedral voids will be twice, that is 2n. Okay? Now, today up to this, in the next session, I will talk about the number of formula units per unit cell and the coordination numbers of the particles or ions in ionic crystals like rock salt crystals or sodium chloride type crystals, cesium chloride type crystals, fluoride crystals and anti-fluoride crystals. For today, goodbye.